Byford Dolphin Diving Accident. On November 5, 1983, a saturation diving operation was taking place aboard the Byford Dolphin oil rig in the North Sea. The diving team consisted of 4 saturation divers and a dive operator. The divers were living in pressurized chambers designed to match deep ocean conditions. At approximately 4 a.m., a routine transfer between a diving bell and decompression chamber was being performed. During the transfer, a critical procedural error occurred. A clamp was released while the internal pressure was still approximately 9 atmospheres. At the moment the seal was broken, a sudden and violent decompression occurred. The pressure difference caused an instantaneous collapse of the system. In milliseconds, 4 divers were reduced to pulp inside their suits, instantly due to the rapid pressure change. Emergency response teams arrived quickly, but there was no possibility of rescue due to the nature of the decompression failure. It remains one of the most severe saturation diving incidents ever recorded. OceanGate Titan Incident. On June 18, 2023, the Titan submersible planned to descent into the North Atlantic Ocean toward the wreck of the RMS Titanic. On board were 5 people: Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate and pilot of the vessel; British explorer Hamish Harding; French deep-sea explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet; Pakistani-British businessman Shahzada Dawood; and his 19-year-old son Suleiman Dawood. The mission was marketed as an expedition to one of the most famous shipwrecks in history, located approximately 3,800 meters below the surface. The dive began in calm conditions. At around 9 a.m., the Titan was successfully launched from its support ship. Early communication between the submersible and the surface vessel was normal. The sub reported descent milestones and system checks as it moved deeper into the ocean. However, as the vessel passed into extreme depth, conditions outside the sub became increasingly dangerous. At nearly 4,000 meters, the pressure is over 300 times greater than at sea level, enough to compress and destroy most structures if there is even a minor flaw. At 10:47 a.m., communication from the Titan became intermittent. The sub reported its final routine message shortly before contact began to fail. After that, no further communication was received. At approximately 6:35 p.m., the support vessel confirmed that the Titan had not resurfaced at its scheduled time. Search and rescue operations began immediately. Over the next several days, a massive search effort covered thousands of square kilometers of ocean. On June 22, 2023, debris was discovered on the seafloor near the Titanic wreck site. The wreckage field confirmed a catastrophic implosion had occurred during descent. This is an instantaneous, violent inward collapse of a structure, occurring when external pressure, like deep seawater, overwhelms its structure, causing it to crush inwards. All 5 occupants were declared deceased. USS Thresher disaster. On April 10, 1963, the USS Thresher, a U.S. nuclear-powered attack submarine, departed for deep diving tests off the coast of Massachusetts. On board were 129 people, including naval officers, enlisted crew, and civilian engineers. The submarine was one of the most advanced nuclear vessels ever built at the time. At 7:47 a.m., the submarine began its deep test dive. Initial communications with the surface ship were routine. Minor issues were reported, but nothing that immediately indicated danger. At 9:02 a.m., the submarine began reporting increasing technical difficulties as it descended deeper. Crew members indicated they were experiencing issues with systems responsible for maintaining depth control. The vessel began sinking deeper than intended. At this point, emergency procedures were attempted. The submarine attempted to blow ballast tanks in order to resurface, a standard emergency maneuver. At 9:13 a.m., the final transmission was received. The message stated that the submarine was passing test depth and attempting emergency surfacing procedures. After this transmission, all communication was lost. The USS Thresher never resurfaced. Search operations began immediately, but no surface debris was initially found. Over the following days, sonar mapping identified debris scattered across the ocean floor at depths exceeding 2,400 meters. The wreck confirmed that the submarine had suffered a catastrophic structural failure under pressure. The hull had collapsed due to the inability to withstand deep-sea pressure once systems began to fail. All 129 personnel aboard were pronounced dead. Feel free to leave any suggestions for future videos in the comments section.